Hello, Blacker 007. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to forward ports on your router. Now, if you don't know what forwarding ports are, then I suggest doing a full Google search and reading up on it. But essentially, picture your router as a cement wall and a port as a cement brick. So every time you open a port, you're essentially taking a brick out and allowing things inside. So bugs, data, etc. And so when you open a port, data can come to your router, and then your router, wherever you tell it to do, will take that data and kind of send it off to a device using its IP address. Now, don't open ports unless you have to, because there's no reason to. Having ports open doesn't make your computer faster or anything like that, so you only open ports for things that need to be done. Now, some people open ports for things like Minecraft servers, and if they're creating a custom VPN for themselves. Now, people may ask, is it safe to have a open port? And the answer is yes, it is safe to have an open port, but it's safer not to have an open port. So what I'm saying here is it is safe to have an open port, but it's safer not to. So what that means essentially, when you have an open port, it is still safe, but people can get through, and it has been done before. Now, a lot of times it's not the user's fault. It's the software that uses the port. So things like, for example, let's say Minecraft uses this server, and we had a server and we opened a port for it. If there was a flaw in Minecraft's system, potentially a hacker could figure out a way to use that flaw and get into your computer, network, whatever it may be. And just because there is a flaw doesn't mean they can attack your computer and take control of your mouse and start downloading things off your computer. Like I said though, it is safe to have an open port, but it's safer not to have a completely closed off system. For more information on that though, I do suggest doing a Google search, and I may leave some articles below, some good reads on that kind of topic. But for a general statement, opening ports is safe, especially if you take the correct safety precautions. Okay, on with that, let's go ahead and open up some ports. So you can go ahead and follow this tutorial just for fun, or you can actually do it for a purpose. Now, I might have a video upcoming with port forwarding needed in it, so that's why I kind of made this video a separate video on specifically how to do it. And with that, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is assign a static IP address. And what that is pretty much every single time a device goes on the internet, it grabs an IP address, which is an internet protocol address. That way it can get access to the internet. So what we're going to give our device a static IP address. And what that basically means is it doesn't change. So we're going to do this on my desktop, or on the computer you want the port forwarding to go to. So we're going to do it on my desktop computer here. So to do that, what we're going to do is we need to find out the information first. So what you want to do is head over to your start button or start menu or whatever it may be, and type in the run, press enter, and then what we want to do is type in CMD. This will open up our good old fun command prompt. Next thing you want to do is type in IP config, so IP config space / all. Press enter, and that'll give us some information. So what you want to do is find these are the different adapters and things plugged into your computer with their information. What you want to do is find the one that has your information. So you may not have as much as I do. I do have a decent amount. So you'll find the one that has your information. For example, here I'm using a Wi-Fi connection. So mine's a wireless Wi-Fi adapter. A lot of times you can tell what it is because it's the longest one. And so it shouldn't be too hard. If you're using an Ethernet one, then find the ones that's Ethernet. So find this wireless LAN adapter here, or whatever yours is, and then just simply take it and put it off to the side for now. We're going to need this information later. So what you want to do now is head over to the control panel on your system, and go over to Network Internet, and go to Network and Sharing Center, and go to Change Adapter Settings, and you should get this area right here. Then again, you'll want to find the one that you're connected to. So if you're doing Wi-Fi or Ethernet, whatever one is connected and you're using, right click that one and go to Properties, and you should grab this list here. And you want to scroll down to the IP 4 section, so Internet Protocol version 4, and press Properties on that. Now, unless you've changed it, by default, it's going to be set up to obtain a IP address automatically for both, and as well as obtain DNS server automatically. So these are kind of things you can change manually. A DNS server is actually you can change the DNS server to get a different kind of a Netflix. So if you're Canadian, you want American Netflix, you can actually change your DNS server to do that. But what we're going to focus on here in this video is IP address. So now bring back the command prompt and put it next to it so it's nice and close. And we're just going to kind of type in some information here. So the first thing you want to do is the default gateway. So the default gateway for my system and probably your system as well is 192.168.1.1. So type that in, and then what you want to do is type in the subnet mask as well. So odds are it is 225.225.225.5, or sorry, 255 across, and the last one's 0. And then we're gonna do IP address. So you can kind of do any IP address you want, but you have to follow the default gateway, for example. So go with 192.168.1, and then you can do what you want, but make sure it isn't taken. So my personal suggestion is use the one your computer is actually using at the moment. And so basically that means that no one else is using that one right now. And then you can just keep the one that you're currently using kind of forever. So for example, as you can tell under IP4 address, I'm using 108 at the end. So I'm going to do 108. That way for sure it's mine and no one else can take it. Like I said, that you can use other ones, but if you use one in another device on your network, like a laptop or a Android phone is already using that one, then you might create some conflicts. So my personal suggestion is just keep it as what it currently is, but you're gonna make it static so it always has it. Once we're good, press OK. And there you go. You have successfully assigned a static IP address. And if you go back to the thing, hit properties, it should be saved. So the reason we did this was because we want our router to be able to send the information to a certain IP address. And if our computer is constantly changing to IP address, then the router can't send it to it. So we want to create a static IP address. That way the information always goes to the same device. Now time for the fun part. So we're going to go ahead and head over to our Chrome or whatever device you use, and we have to access our router's settings. So you're going to need network permissions to do this. So you have to know the network password to your router. Now you have to access your router settings. So for different routers, it's different, but a lot of times if you type in the default gateway, that will get you it. So for example, if I type in 192.168.1.1 and press enter, it will bring up my router's like login administration page. Now I've already logged into it, so mine just logs in automatically. But you probably will have to log in with the admin password, and that admin password might be different from the actual Wi-Fi password. So if you don't know what it is, talk to your parents or whoever runs that to get in, so you need to be able to edit the settings. Now the next thing we're going to do is add a port. So it doesn't matter if you're a Linksys router or whatever router brand you use, for the most part it is kind of the same. So you're going to want to go and try and find the port area. So for me, it's under security area. And then odds are it's going to be under apps and gaming. So if you find apps and gaming, you should be able to find it. And then you can find apps and gaming, and you can do single port forwarding, port range forwarding, or port range triggering. And what we want is a single port forwarding. Then press add new single port. So we can give it a name. So for example, we're going to name this one just test. And then we're going to do external port and internal port. So for the external port, just give it a random one. I would do pretty high number in my opinion, but it really is up to you. So I'm just going to do, for the example of this video, 4569. Internal port's going to be a lower number, so just do 90. So now you can choose what port, what protocol it's going to support. For both is going to be fine for me. And then of course we have to do device IP. So we created that static IP, so we're just going to enter it back in again. So for me, it was 1. and then 108. So this is basically allow us to have our information sent to that computer, and because it's static, it will not change, and the information will always go to that same device. Then press save, and you're good to go. You should see that it has been added, and you can tell by the name. So obviously name it something that you'll know what it is after. Alright, so once we're good to go, we are good to go, and you want to press apply, and it should take a half a second to apply that, and there we go. So now we have successfully set up the port forwarding, but first, what you want to do now is we have to actually allow that port to send information to our computer, and we do that through Windows Firewall. So head over to your start menu and type in Windows Firewall, and then what you want to do is basically create a new inbound rule, because this is inbound. So head over to inbound rules and hit new rule. And what you want to do is, what kind of rule would you like to create? We want to create a port rule. So hit next. So you can choose what it applies to, is TCP or UDP. Choose which one it is, and then port. We want to choose the port. What port we chose. Now this is the internal port. So if you didn't close it, head over here and you can see what internal port we use. We used 90 in our example, so we're gonna go ahead and type in 90. And now we're going to choose some different options. So we can choose to allow the connection, or you can do allow the connection if it is secure. So this is a cool little thing you can do. So if you hit that and hit customize, you have some more options. So you can choose, for example, if it's encrypted. So it must be encrypted. So this is good if you know your connection is going to be encrypted. That's a great way to kind of add some more security. So you can choose that if you'd like to. The next options are going to be certain authorized users. So I highly suggest checking this one off, because then what you can do is head over here and then go to advanced and find, and then you can add yourself. So scroll down and find your username if you're the network the user admin. So go ahead and add yourself there. You can type it manually, but it's easier to do the advanced way. So now you must know the password to this account to actually access through it. Then go ahead and press next, and we can choose authorized computers. We're going to skip this for now though, but you can add a computer if you'd like to. Then you want to choose where it applies. So for desktop, it's pretty much generic. You probably just going to do private. But if it's a laptop and you're taking different places, you want to check certain things off. So for me, I'm going to uncheck both these two, because this desktop does not leave the home. So after that, you can give it a name. So I'll leave mine port forward test. And then you go to description and you can type something in and finish. If you head over to the P section, you're going to see port forward test is good to go. And you can also see that it's only allowed if it's secure. Now, of course, you want to disable this. If you want to undo what you did today, you can go ahead and hit disable rule, or you can just flat out go ahead and delete it. And then you can go over to your router and delete the port forward option and apply that. And of course, you can even change your IP address thing back to dynamic so that it automatically changes again. But actually, it doesn't really matter that much if it's static or dynamic, as long as the other devices aren't set to the same static IP address. You're all good to go. Anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Bit long, but I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about port forwarding, definitely leave them below and I'll try my best to answer. But of course, Google is your friend, and Google does explain things a lot of times better than me. Anyways guys though, thanks for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for future videos or about this video, leave them below in the comment section. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. This is the Hacker 007, and I'm signing off.